hustle. There ain't no time for sleep. Just keep on moving. Do what you're doing. You always play for keeps. Ain't backing down, no, we're going big. Ain't stopping now, we get after it. Get after it. Get after it. Light that fire. Get after it. Light that fire.
What if Deku was a villain? Part 1. Now, before I even start, I'm going to go ahead and edit a warning in here if there is any, warnings that I should put out there. If you're not hearing a warning in 3, 2, 1, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and warn you guys right now. This video will contain some very violent scenes. Not very violent, but violent and graphic scenes. So if you do not like that, please discontinue this video. Also, curse words are really exchanged through this, so I hope you guys understand. And if you do not like cursing or vulgar, violent, or gory scenes, please click away and go watch a different video. Then there's probably nothing I needed to mention, but I do want to say that there will be somewhat My Hero Academia spoilers in this, but again, if you're searching up for a what if, or if this isn't recommended, I presume you've at least watched some of My Hero Academia. So, we start off when Izuku is 4, when he's told he's apparently quirkless. Now, this isn't true. He's a incredibly late bloomer, as when he would get, I'll go ahead and explain it. He'll get his quirk during the time where All Might gave him One for All, like after the 10 months. So, everyone's still bullying him, but it's a lot worse since Izuku really doesn't have anyone. His mother's there for him, yeah, but even before, people hated him for some unknown reason. His personality was the exact same. Most of the events go the same until the sludge villain attack. Now, when All Might saves him and the whole event happens, Izuku says, "Is it possible for me to become a hero without a quirk?" Listen, it is not possible to become a hero if you even try to be a Death Wish. Plus, a weak and pathetic being like you shouldn't even deserve to be on this planet, All Might would say. This would enrage Izuku and also make him incredibly sad. Izuku wouldn't even bother with Kacchan, as Katsuki would get enveloped, as the sludge would start going inside of him, as Katsuki would die and the sludge took over Bakugo. Now being able to control Bakugo's quirk, he fights off the heroes, but he's stopped and killed. Not killed, but put in jail, as Mitsuki is devastated. All Might's pride is hurt, as someone with that strong of a quirk just died because he just couldn't do anything. It's all that damn brat's fault. If he wouldn't have grabbed onto me like that, I would have still had time. As All Might would then go look for Midoriya, as he would then walk out in front of him, as Izuku's like, All Might, as All Might would then say, "You damn brat. If it weren't for you grabbing onto my leg, I would have been able to save that kid. Do you not understand? Someone died because of your fuck up. You're just a sorry, selfish bitch." As he would then power up and go, Detroit smash. As Izuku would be sent flying far, far away. As he would then and go crashing into an alley. However, there was a few metal pipes of trash, and he gets stabbed right through his gut. As he's just screaming out of pain, and eventually he passes out. When he wakes up, he's inside a bed. It's it's a bar, or what looks like to be a room that would normally be above a bar under it. As he would then walk out and see that there's a staircase downwards. As he would walk down that staircase to find Kirigiri just doing a bit of chores around the counter, as he would be like, where am I? As Kirigiri would explain that he's inside a bar. He's inside his bar, that he found him lying outside and brought him in and fixed him up. Izuku was like, how? I got stabbed through the gut. I have a friend who has a very powerful healing quirk. As the person who runs this tavern actually hired me would like to speak with you. Here, just walk through this portal. You'll meet him. As Izuku would then walk through it, and he would see a man, all for one. Now, this time, All Might hit All for One extremely, extremely bad. And this caused his lifespan to shorten a lot, and that he needed to find someone worthy of taking the power no matter what. As Izuku would then say, hello, as All for One would turn around saying, oh, you're awake. Might I ask how that happened? As he would explain that he's quirkless, and he asked All Might if he could be a hero, but All Might rejected him, and later on All Might punched him for no reason, as he would be like, what do you think of the Hero Society? What do you think of All Might? He's a bastard. A self-righteous bitch like he called me. All he cares about is his own ego, treating quirkless people like mere trash. As Izuku would then be offered to join the League of Villains, as he would accept, but under the one condition: his mother was not brought into any of this. As he would be told that he would be training for 10 months to be able to inherit his power and become the leader of the League of Villains. As he would go home, and he would be walking in his door as he hears someone screaming. It's his mom. He walks down the hall and sees All Might standing in front of his mom, just punching her. And eventually, he takes a sword that was on the wall for display and cuts off Inko's arms and then stabs her through the heart. As Izuku would want to scream out crying, but he just slowly backed away, went into the bathroom, and hid in the cabinet. As when All Might left, he would immediately call the cops. As they would get there, and they were like, what happened? He was about to say All Might killed her, but then realized they wouldn't believe that. As they would offer to give him a different apartment, just in case this would bring back a bit too many bad memories from this event, as he would get a brand new apartment, as Izuku would now be suffering from depression, and it would really get to him, as he would start banging his head on a wall constantly, not really hurting him, but just making his head slightly bleed. All for One heard what happened, and he felt really bad for him, because unlike in this, All Might's the true villain. All for One was the one with the correct ideals in this What If. So he feels bad for him as he knows what it's like not growing up with a mother, as All For One's mother abandoned him, but you can imagine how much pain someone would go through watching someone they admired for their whole life murder the one person that cared for them. The 10 months would go by. Izuku would be training. It basically would be Saitama's training on steroids. Instead of 100 everything, it's 2 billion everything. Basically, he's running around the entire United States of America. And no, I'm not making him overpowered. I'm just making him decently fast. Okay, fine, I'm making him sort of overpowered, but he's gonna have his match. Of course, he's nowhere near All Might's level. He's basically just Season 4 Izuku by now. And you might be wondering, how the hell is he not literally Saitama times 40,000? Well, because, plot armor. That's the exact same thing that was said for Saitama even gaining his powers. Plot armor. So, after the 10 months is done... Sorry, I'm just really tired. After the 10 months is done, Izuku would then get the power of one for all. No, not one for all for one, damn it. Damn it. As he would then feel the quirks coursing through him. As a week later, All For One would die. As Izuku would really still be hurt by this, as by now, All For One had become sort of like a father figure to him, but it gets over it, and he decides to avenge his father by killing All Might. He would then meet with Shigaraki, as Shigaraki understands that his father was looking for someone, or what he considers to be father now, or what All For One was looking for someone worthy enough and with enough hatred to All Might. So, Izuku is now the leader of the League of Villains. As he would then contract or find and, he would then find Toga and Dabi a lot sooner. Because of how bad their lives were, they joined the League of Villains earlier. As Izuku then decided to take the entrance exam, but he's gonna look a bit different. Instead of being that happy-go-lucky green-haired kid, he's gonna be a black-haired. He would dye his hair to be black with a bit of green highlights, and that's basically his look, or his look change. So, it's now the time for the entrance exam. Can I talk correctly? So, he's walking in, and he sees how happy everyone is. Damn it, I cannot speak correctly. He sees how happy everyone is. And he is wondering, how the hell have they not noticed it? As he then just uses one of his quirks to temporarily stop time for like a minute. And he just goes to his seat and sits down. As remember, Bakugo is dead. Or Bakugo is dead, but his body is still being used by a bitch. Yeah, that's the only way I can explain it. As he would go in, it would go the same as Ito wouldn't really talk to Izuku, as Izuku's not that mumbling kid anymore. So, when it comes to right before the doors open, he doesn't go to try to comfort Uraraka, as remember, he's a villain. So he would then just teleport and just with pure force start destroying robots. As they think he has two quirks. As a person has a gravity manipulation quirk. as this would be Uraraka, as this would catch his eye, because amplifying the quirk would mean gravity control. So, Izuku gets it, that's all I'm gonna say, because there's really nothing. When it comes to the zero pointer, Izuku punches it in his leg, in both its legs, it starts falling down, he jumps up, and just imagine what Goku did to Piccolo, but with this giant robot and Deku having his fist up instead of his head. So he just made a giant hole through it as a massive explosion would then just go off behind Izuku while he's going from the air. Well, no, he lands and then he just puts his hands in his pocket and starts walking to the gate as it would then explode, making him look like a complete badass. Now, he would then start to trail this Uraraka girl as he would then follow her into an alley as she's just using it as a shortcut as he would then say, "So you're Ochaka Uraraka. It's a fine quirk you have there. Mind if I take it from you?" She's like, "What? It's my quirk. I can steal or give quirks to other people. Now either give me your quirk willingly or I'll have to force it out of you." As she would then say, "No," as she would get into somewhat of a very sloppy fighting stance, as Izuku would charge at her, as she would try to throw a punch, but Izuku would teleport behind her, and he would grab a pole. He would grab a metal pole or metal pipe and yank it out of the wall, as he would then stab Uraraka right in her ribs, as he would then take her quirk, pull the metal pipe out, and then stab Uraraka in her heart. As this would this would cause people to be extremely scared of who's doing this, as someone someone is brutal enough to do this. It's chopped down to be a villain, as well, everyone expected it to be a villain. Who else would it be? You know, totally not All Might. All Might's definitely not a villain. As he would then use one of his quirks to amplify Uraraka's zero gravity, and now he can basically have full control over gravity. Now, we're gonna skip to the first day of school. Overall, there's gonna be few changes. First off, Bakugo and Uraraka won't be there. They will be replaced with Kendo and Monoma, and I'm gonna take care of I'm gonna take care of grape juice later. So, Aizawa would walk in saying, "Took you 10 seconds to shut up. That's too long." As this speech would somewhat go the same without Uraraka interrupting him this time, because, she's dead. As they would go outside to start doing the quirk assessment test, as Izuku would be given the ball, as he would just throw it, and it would get 1,700 meters, as it's pretty impressive. But a few people got better, such as, I don't know who would have got the best place, honestly, but let's just say Kendo. She's got large hands. So let's just say that's an average score. As Izuku wouldn't really be trying, just enough to get in the middle so he doesn't get kicked out. Mineta is the person that is kicked out, and Izuku would then just stop time, go to where Mineta is leaving the school, grab him, and then he would just rip his head off and then put it on the school right on top of the UA gate. As everyone would see this, they'd be like, "What the hell?" What the hell? This would strike fear. As Aizawa would kind of feel bad because he kicked him out and then his life was ended. As All Might the next day would come in a bit worried about the killings. The killing of Uraraka, someone who was going to make it into Class 1A, and the killing of Mineta. As Mineta's seat is now open and, well, let's just say whoever the hell's at top of Class 1B will get into Class 1A. So I don't know who that is. Just tell me in the comments. It's not going to be relevant anyway. He would see Izuku, as his hair would be different, but he'd recognize him. As he'd be like, what the hell? That can't be him. As he would push the thought to the side, as speech would go the same. Izuku's hero costume, or villain costume, would just be a pair of black gloves with a butler suit. As they would notice it looked kind of villainous. As he would then point out, so does Todoroki's, because he still has that, he still has that trash-ass costume. You know what I mean. That trashy costume at the start. So, it is Kendo and Deku versus, Momo and Todoroki. As Deku would just start climbing the building with his bare strength when it starts, as he would find the bomb room, as he would then proceed to stop time and go behind the bomb, touch it, and unfreeze time, as heroes would be declared the victors. As now, 2 weeks later, Aizawa announces the USJ. As they would all get there, events would play along as canon. But when the Nomu comes out and All Might's there, Izuku would then turn around and look at All Might. As he would then he would then turn around and look at All Might and said, let's do this. As he would immediately just stop time. As he would basically have infinite strength in this. As he would then move the Nomu in front of All Might, ripping off All Might's head and making it look like the Nomu did it. As he would unfreeze it and look back and be like, what? As everyone would be terrified. All Might, the number 1 hero, is now dead. Everyone's in shock and despair, and Izuku's acting skills, 20,000 out of 10. Yeah, I'm sorry, his acting skills are literally the best. So All Might would be dead. Like, major dead. As no one would even notice that Izuku's smiling in the shadow, as they would be too shocked about what happened. After all this, they still continue the sports festival. But everyone in the world still thinks All Might's alive, just not going to be present for a while. As then, during the sports festival, it would go the same. The race would go the same, only the thing is, let's say Kendo gets 3rd place, because why not? I don't care. Deku first, Todoroki second. Now, no one would want to team up with Izuku like normal, but Izuku would then go solo and just kind of, just run away from everyone, keeping his handbed for the 30 minutes. Now, the 1v1s would go the same, but with Deku and Todoroki, what would happen is Deku would win, not trying to give Todoroki the edge. As that would have been the final match, as now it was time for All Might to come out and give the badges. On the announcement, it said that All Might could not come due to saving people on the other side of Japan. So instead, the number 2 hero, Endeavor, will be doing it, as a black portal would then open, showing All Might's decapitated body. As everyone would be scared, everyone would be shocked. They would be like, "What the hell?" Izuku would be faking fear because this was planned, as Yue's reputation was run into the ground. And that is where I'm going to be leaving this first part off. Sorry if it seemed rushed, but I really have to get this out there. Because it's been too long since I last posted. See you guys.